My name is Elena. I am 27 years old. I work for a small design firm. Every day I take the bus to my office. I am a graphic designer there. I do not earn a large salary, but I am careful with my money. I like to look professional. Some people say I have a nice smile, but I do not like it when people stare at me. I just want to focus on my projects. Then I want to go home. I value a quiet, simple life. My career is very important to me. My manager's name is David. He is 35 years old. He always wears expensive watches. David is a very confident man. He talks to everyone easily. But sometimes he compliments my work in a special way. I try to ignore these compliments, but David began stopping by my desk every morning. He would ask about my projects, but I knew that wasn't the only reason I felt him watching me. It made me nervous. One Friday, he leaned against my desk. He looked at me and said, "Elena, you have a real talent here. Your designs are brilliant. You deserve a more prominent role in this company." I smiled politely and said, "Thank you, David." But inside, I felt uneasy. That weekend, I could not relax. I thought about David. Why did he say that? What did he mean by a more prominent role? The following Monday, David asked me to come to his studio. My hands felt cold as I walked there. I was worried about my current project. When I entered, he said, "Elena, I want to talk about your position." I felt a spark of hope. A promotion would change my life. He said, "You are the most talented designer in this firm. Your creativity is exceptional. You truly deserve a leadership role." I felt proud. David looked at me intently. Then he said, "Maybe we can discuss the details over drinks. We can talk about your new title there." I did not know how to respond. Drinks with my manager. Was this appropriate? I did not want to make him angry. It was about my career after all. I quietly agreed. He gave me a wide smile. I walked out of his studio, feeling uncertain. David chose a stylish lounge in the city center. When I got there, David was waiting at a table. He was not wearing his usual jacket. "You look wonderful tonight, Elena," he said. His comment made me uncomfortable. We found a quiet corner. At first, we talked about the company, but then David asked about my personal life, my passions. Then he talked about his own life. He told me he felt misunderstood. He said his marriage was not happy. He said I was easy to talk to soon. I felt a strange sense of importance. As we spoke, David reached for my arm. I knew this was wrong. He was my boss, and this was not about work, but I did not pull away. I let his hand stay there. After our drinks, David asked if I wanted to see the new art gallery downtown. He said it would inspire us. I felt confused, but I said yes. We drove in his car. The gallery was almost empty. He stood very close to me. My heart began to race. He touched my shoulder. Then he kissed me. It was a deep kiss. I did not push him away. That night, I went to his house. I slept with David, my manager. It felt surreal, but it happened. The next morning, I woke up feeling disoriented. David was already awake beside me. He smiled at me and said, "It's okay, Elena. I will make sure you get that promotion." I wanted to trust him. Later, I went to the office. David arrived later. He did not mention the previous night. He just gave me a new project to complete. Weeks went by. I waited for the promotion David promised me, but there was no news. He did not talk about it. When I tried to ask him, he always said, "These things move slowly. Just wait." Soon, David's behavior changed. He stopped coming to my desk. He did not look at me in the hallways. During client calls, he ignored my suggestions. He was distant, like we had never met. I felt used. My stomach ached. David had manipulated me. He did not respect me. I felt foolish and hurt. I knew I needed to confront him. I had to understand why he deceived me. One evening, I waited until everyone left and went to his office. He was surprised to see me. I said, "David, you promised me a promotion. You said I deserved a leadership role." He said, "Elena, this is unprofessional. You cannot confuse personal moments with business. That is a serious mistake." I was shocked. How could he say that? I said, "You created the situation. You invited me for drinks. You made me promises." David stood up and closed his door. He said, "That's enough, Elena. You need to leave right now. We are not discussing this anymore. Do you understand?" I felt a deep pain. Tears welled in my eyes. I left his office immediately. I felt numb. I couldn't concentrate on my designs anymore. My creativity was gone. Around the office, people began to whisper about David and me. I suspected someone had seen us at the lounge. One morning, I received an email. It was from the head of HR, Mr. Davis. He asked me to come to his office for a discussion. When I sat down with Mr. Davis, he had a calm but stern expression. He asked me about my interactions with David. I wanted to deny everything. But then I remembered David's empty words. I told Mr. Davis the whole story. He listened without interrupting. After I finished, he informed me that the company would conduct a full review. David claimed it was a consensual relationship. But the HR department found emails he had sent me asking to meet outside work. David was asked to resign. He was gone. But my peace did not return. In fact, it became worse. My coworkers thought I had destroyed his career. They avoided me. Every day at work felt heavy and lonely. I dreaded going to the office. A month later, I was called into Mr. Davis's office again. He told me that my position was being eliminated due to restructuring. The company needed to move in a new direction. I was in disbelief. I had lost my job. No one thanked me for my work. No one met my gaze as I packed my things. I had no income, no security. When I got back to my small apartment, I collapsed on the floor and sobbed. I cried until I had no tears left. I was so angry. I was angry at David, but I was also angry at myself. Why was I so naive? Why did I not listen to my instincts? I had lost my job and my confidence. 2 months passed after I lost my job. It was a period of deep reflection. I felt lost and anxious. Finding new work was challenging. I applied to many places. Finally, I found a position at a nonprofit organization. My new manager, Ms. Elena, was kind and clear. She discussed only professional matters. I felt respected and valued there. I put all my energy into my new role. Ms. Elena recognized my dedication and gave me more responsibility. Before, I sometimes thought that success depended on others, but now I understand that it comes from within. I had learned to trust my instincts and to speak my truth. I understood my own value, and that was the most powerful lesson I could ever learn.